I'm not controlled by no set, not loyal to no party, not loyal to nobody's telling me what to do. And that really is when you gain your greatest ability to manifest. That's when you truly are carrying the power of God, because you become God of your own universe.
Look down, I see the stars. Look down, I see the stars. Look down, I see the stars.
Hello, everyone. My name is Attorney Darrell E. Robinson. Welcome to another episode of Justice Unveiled. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the lawsuits that were filed against Sean Puffy Combs. But before we get to that, I want to give you some background on the law involving those lawsuits. In 2019, the state of New York had a 3-year statute of limitations for someone to file a lawsuit based upon being sexually assaulted civilly. And they extended that statute to 20 years. But the 20-year statute of limitations amendment was not retroactive. So in November of 2022, the legislature enacted a look-back statute, a New York adult sexual assault law that allowed for a 1-year period of time for individuals to file, regardless of when it happened, a lawsuit based upon being sexually assaulted. Sean Puffy Combs was sued 3 times. 2 of the individuals who sued him were sued under that particular statute. In March of this year, the state legislature enacted a New York violence based on gender, a violence protection law, and that's a 2-year statute of limitations. It was enacted in March of this year and it expires in March of 2025. And we'll talk about that particular statute later. Now, the lawsuits against Sean Puffy Combs, the most one you're familiar with is Constanza Ventura, Sean Puffy Combs' girlfriend. She said she was about 19 when she met him. He was around 37, and she said she was subject to a lot of verbal, physical, and sexual abuse over that period of time. And so she filed her lawsuit, ironically, around 7 days before the 1-year statute of limitations was scheduled to expire. Obviously, it was settled the next day. There was a second young lady who filed a statute against him and said that she was sexually assaulted in a revenge porn type of way. So that lawsuit is still pending. We'll see what the outcome of that particular lawsuit was going to be. Now, the third lawsuit that was filed against Sean Puffy Combs was under the New York violence based upon gender motivated in federal court. Now, that statute is obviously more encompassing. So that statute, you can be held liable if you participated, aided, directed, or assisted in committing an act of sexual violence based upon gender. So it can not only include male on female, male on male, female on female. The uniqueness about that particular statute, it's a 2-year statute of limitations. The young lady that filed a lawsuit against Sean Puffy Combs said that she was 17 years old at the particular time and that she was provided drugs and alcohol, which would be illegal itself, and she was flown on his private plane to his music studio where she was gang raped. Now, if you were an individual who can be classified as assisted or conspired and didn't actually participate in the sexual act itself, you could still be sued under that particular statute. So if you were one of those individuals, I advise you to get an attorney as soon as possible because your defense would be different than someone who actually participated in the sexual act. They're going to say it was consensual. That's going to be their defense. Yours would be different and could be in conflict with one of your co-defendants. And because I do plaintiff's work also, I'm going to sue everybody who's in the room, even the janitor. So that way you get people, well, that's no difference than in the criminals. You get someone who's going to turn state witness, someone's going to say, hey, yes, it happened. I didn't participate in it, wasn't aware of it. But the facts of that particular case kind of lined up that it might have been a conspiracy. Picked this 17-year-old up, supplied her alcohol and drugs on the plane to get her ready and took her back to the studio. And they gang raped her. So they're going to want to know what was said before, what was said when she arrived at the studio, who was there. So that one can be an all-encompassing statute. Like I said, that statute was enacted in March of this year and expires in March of 2025. Now, one of the dangers of these statutes, these look-back statutes, is that some of these acts could have taken place, or allegedly, let's put it that way, taken place over a period of 20 or 30 years ago. So from a defense standpoint, people accomplish a lot in 20 to 30 years. And so a lawsuit of this kind could ruin their reputation undeservingly. So you can get people who are only being sued because they have achieved success in life. And such a lawsuit can embarrass them. And so they'd be forced to settle when, in fact, nothing really took place. The act was consensual. On the flip side, from a plaintiff's standpoint, if, in fact, the acts or allegations are true, proving those allegations this far removed could be difficult. One, some of the witnesses may be hard to find or unavailable. Was there an outcry statement? Was there any DNA? Was there a rape kit? And was there a police report filed? So those are some of the things that you're going to look at to be able to establish evidence. Is it a case where it's just my word against his word, or my word against her word under the statute? And that would make a more difficult case to prove. Now, in the New York adult statute that just expired, there were about 1,400 lawsuits filed. The one enacted in March of this year, there'll be remaining to see how many statutes going to be filed, under lawsuits going to be filed under that particular statute. But of the 1,400, would be curious myself, the mix of the individuals who were being sued as far as that is concerned. So that's 1,400 statutes that's going to go through the court system, and we're going to see what's going to happen with that particular law. Now, right now, I'm aware of New York. This is the only one who have enacted a statute like that. Illinois and some of the other major states haven't gone that far, not retroactively in any case. Now, I do understand a statute like that being enacted, for example, when an individuals were a minor. Illinois has a statute like that now where they were a minor. That obviously, there is no limit in the statute of limitations from a minor standpoint, because we understand where minors necessarily may have not brought that statute. They may have not told their parents or another adult, or they may have told their parents another adult and weren't believed. And so they spent years dealing with the trauma over a long period of time. And so we'll wait to see what happens to Sean Puffy Combs and those other two lawsuits. Good luck to him. Thank you for joining another episode of Justice Unveiled.
Look down, I see the stars. Look down, I see the stars. Look down, I see the stars.